Tattoos are like marmite. You either love them or you hate them. 50 years ago, getting permanent ink on your skin was often seen as a watermark for being a criminal. But today, that's all changed. The world of body art is booming. What's behind this explosion in the tattoo industry? This is Tweet That Tattoo. Louis Malloy from Manchester has been a tattoo artist since the age of 18. Opening his shop in 1981, Louis has been in the industry for over 3 decades and has tattooed some famous faces.
I've tattooed a lot of celebrities, including David Beckham, which everybody knows. I think the reason why he came here was because at the time he was playing at Manchester United, and I tattooed quite a few of the other players prior to tattooing David, so I think it was just one of those word of mouth reputation things, and he came in and I tattooed him for nearly 10 years.
Paul Tattitude, also from Manchester, has tattooed a celebrity singer that you may well have heard of.
Tattooed Ed Sheeran about 2 years ago. They called me up, we were doing an interview on the radio station, and I think I'd tattooed one of the staff from there or something, so they got me in, and he was alright. He was quite a quiet guy, really, quite chilled out. But I tattooed a cup of tea on his arm.
Have celebrities influenced people like ourselves to get tattoos?
I think the main reason for people getting tattoos now, a lot of it is celebrities and stuff like that, but like when I was 22, I was covered in tattoos, and everyone looked at me, you know, like I was an outcast. And I had tunnels and stuff in, and about 14 years ago I had tunnels in, and people looked at you weird. Now it's just the normal.
I think celebrities have played their part in making tattooing socially acceptable. I don't really think that's so much the case now, because it seems like every other celebrity on the planet has got a tattoo, so there's no news value in it anymore. But back in the 90s, it was a bit of a big issue. So yeah, they've definitely played a part.
A Freedom of Information request has revealed that in Manchester city centre alone, the number of registered tattoo artists has increased by a whopping 60% in just 5 years. What has caused this increase? Chris Yates from Eagle's Wing Tattoo Studio thinks there's one big thing driving this change in attitude.
I think social media has. It's definitely increased it. Things are easier for people to get. You don't have like the scary thing of going into a shop, into like an alien environment you don't know anything about. You can research things, you can look at a million designs, you can look at a million different artists before you even decide, before you even come into a studio.
Let's hear from Jennifer Fornan, a digital marketing student from the University of Salford.
Social media is so important to today's society, not only just for personal use. Businesses, you know, they should be using it if they're not already. They're using it for customer engagement, for, you know, dealing with complaints, but also just helping customers understand their products and building their brand. It's very integral to succeeding in today's world.
Social media can break down certain barriers, and in some way, this has had a positive influence. But has this global picture-sharing platform caused problems? Louis Malloy shares his opinion.
It's like a two-edged sword, because on the one hand, it's allowed tattooing to go mainstream, because obviously the more access people have to that kind of information, and the more they can be potentially influenced by it. But on the downside, it means that every other idiot on the planet who thinks that they can be a tattooer has got the means, access and wherewithal to be able to find out what they need and then do it. And unfortunately, when you go on places like Facebook, you see some of the most horrendous pieces of work done by people, done in their homes or whatever, and you can absolutely guarantee, no matter how bad that work is, somebody's going to go, oh, it's great, oh, it's cool, oh, it's awesome, or something. And that just seems to encourage more idiots to come in to do it. So it's good on the one hand that it's sort of spread the word, but on the flip side, it's not good for the industry.
Social media is very visual, and tattoos are obviously, beautiful things. So you take pictures, show it. People engage more with pictures than anything else on social media. So even just showing a piece of art you've done on someone's skin, that can go viral easily if it's really good. So it gets the name out there.
With the tattoo industry on the rise, more and more social media pages are being created on platforms such as Facebook and Instagram. This creates an online community. But are there places for tattoo artists to go and show off their artwork?
The convention scene is huge at the moment. It's just getting bigger and bigger. There's more conventions all the time.
The Tattoo Tea Party was held this year in Manchester on Sunday the 6th of March. People came from all over the world to attend.
My name is Doğukan.
My name is Robert.
And we're both from Cyprus.
Blake Wilkinson, and I'm from Manchester, England.
Sean Guthrie, I live in Aberdeen in Scotland.
For Facebook, I don't think that it's as effective as Instagram right now. We have customers just from seeing our work from social media, so that we have lost loads of customers coming us just from the social media as well.
I think social media is how most tattooists kind of get their work nowadays. People tend to message you through that rather than popping in the shop nowadays as well. So Facebook gets you more kind of actual work. Like people will message you more directly, whereas Instagram, a new drawing or a new tattoo will get me quite a few new followers and up to like 100 likes, but you seem to get less work off of it.
This event, now in its 5th year, has brought together some of the best tattoo artists in the UK. Local lad Phil has over 55,000 followers on Instagram alone.
Social media is the greatest thing for tattooers. Without social media now, you stick to your old school tattoo studios, such as walking studios. You walk down the street, you see signs, tattoo everywhere. All my bookings are done via Facebook, Instagram. Without that, my name will not progress any further as much as it can do. So, over the last, 3 years, since my followers have jumped up and my work is recognizable now, I've been to Milan, Krakow, places in Spain, just mainly for now, mainland Europe, but the aim this year is to get to America and Australia, where for some reason I have a huge following over there and they're always asking me to come, to their country, which is obviously the next step to further myself and advertise.
Many tattoo artists will use hashtags to get their work seen all over the world. Here are a few that you may well recognise.
Hashtags for social media are ways to have a community about something. So if you're posting about some amazing tattoo art you've seen, no one's going to see it unless they follow you directly already. But if you add on a hashtag that's relevant to the topic you're talking about, tattoos, other people that are interested in tattoos can follow that hashtag and then also see what you're putting. I think trends, grow very quickly because it's so... it's such a community. People contribute all across the world. So the diversity of trends means that you have to be in it at the moment. But there's always a chance to join in because you can just contribute yourself as well.
There's always been trends within tattooing as it's become more popular. I mean, back in the 90s it was sort of Celtic tribal. Then there was a thing, still is a thing for religious type stuff. There's a big thing at the moment for pocket watches with a specific time on them, which is usually a date of birth. And trends like that come and go, and unfortunately for people who sort of latch onto those trends, when it's not trendy anymore, tough because you're still stuck with it. So the byword here is caution.
There's trends with people just getting their arms blacked out now. Like a few of us have had it done. Like I had all that blacked out. They're all brandings, they're all burnt in. But a lot of them now, they've not had a tattoo before and they're getting blackouts, on their arms. It's like I think that'll be the new thing next year, maybe the year after, more people, you're going to see more of that. But it's just fashion, isn't it? A lot more, it's more acceptable. It used to be like criminals or, whatever, used to get a lot of, not that I was a criminal, but, used to get that kind of thing, like sailors, people in the army, that sort of thing.
We've seen some trends come and go. What goes around comes around. But where will the tattoo industry be in 5 years' time?
The future of tattooing, it's a very, very difficult one to predict, because I was asked a similar question 20 years ago and I didn't honestly know the answer. I think, no pun intended, they're definitely here to stay.
They're on about bringing in a discrimination law for people with tattoos and piercings now, you know, so they can get more jobs. So that's better for us.
Generations will influence successive generations, and going back to one of the previous questions, because the generation of people who are being tattooed now, it's likely that their kids will get tattooed. So therefore, in some ways, I can see my career being sealed till, let's say, retirement.
So we'll leave you with one final question. Do you think that the media have finally managed to transform the way an entire generation sees tattoos, turning a previously frowned upon fashion into a mainstream must-have?